6. Okay, that's not too bad. 7. Let's try to keep it between 3 and at the absolute longest 5 minutes. And what I'm gonna do is start on this end and work my way down here. Okay, so you'll know when your time is coming up. Now, I'm gonna ask you if you're just going to agree with the person who's already spoken, try to just maybe limit your comments to, I agree with Mr. Dorman or something like that. And that way we can save some time here because we are already going over the time limit. So let's 3 to 5 minutes, and remember, we're all here with one thing in common, and that's that we care about Collinsville Township. So let's not have any personal attacks or insults or anything, for lack of a better word, okay? Let's just try to keep this civil. If you have questions for the trustees, they won't be answered here at this time. We'll have another meeting right afterwards. Maybe you can get them answered there. But what I promise you is I'm gonna keep track of this, and I will make sure, I will follow up to make sure if you have a specific question that it gets answered. And if you wanna come up to me afterwards and make sure I have your phone number and such, I'm more than willing to do that.
I think the microphone's working. We turned it up.
If you wanna use the microphone, you can come up.
We'll check it.
So, here we go.
Can you test 1, 2? Can you hear me now? You're okay? Okay.
I like to respond, as a tax assessor, I want to respond to some comments that was made by Mr. Cox. That is, he likes to compare us to Edwardsville Township. Just to set the record straight, we are the largest township in Madison County right now. We have over 16,000 parcels. Edwardsville is well below that. And fact is, I will give you the numbers so that you know I'm not picking on you or something like you just said I would. Edwardsville has something on the order of 13,958. What's that?
FOIA said 16,137. That's what I got from them.
County says 13,958, right, Pam?
Lied.
That is without the exemption.
Without the exemptions.
No, I'm just saying that I asked us what we assessed and what they assessed. Ours was 16,400,
16,088.
16,008. They said
That doesn't include the exempted property.
I'm just saying what I quoted. I'm not trying to argue with you.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Now-
So let's try to keep these to comments and not have any interactions.
We are
with each
told
other, okay?
we are told we have too many employees and we have too much money we spend. I will tell you, we are not the highest township per parcel in the county. We are like 3rd in the county. Secondly, the price that we charge is actually less than what it shows up because of our budget, because the last few years we haven't been fully staffed. That's going to change, obviously. However, we are still almost exactly the same as what the county would charge us to come in here to do the work for us. And that does not include money allocated to take care of your exemptions, your tax freezes, and the other sort of things. So it would be considerably more for the county to do it. Right now, they want $28, and that, as I said, or $29 and per parcel, and that does not include the excess. We still would have to have some employees to cover that. That would be our job. So unless we're at $29, the county's at $29. So unless the county board chairman is just putting too much money into those sort of things, I don't know. As far as what we do, we probably do more than many other township assessors' offices did. When the values of the properties went down in 2007, we were ahead of the bubble because I knew what was happening. I could see it happening from other places. And we jumped ahead and we reduced assessments as much as we could across the board to reflect the decline. You did not get that in other townships. Also, when they put Highway 159 through town and they widened it, we made adjustments for people who were having their property taken by the state, who were also losing control of their property for permanent easements, temporary easements, and so forth. And if you don't think there's a loss in value for a temporary easement, talk to the one gas station where they actually took underneath the canopy was taken under a temporary easement. That means they could have parked their bulldozers and anything else there for 8 years. That would affect value, I think. We took care of that kind of stuff. I think we've been on the cutting edge of doing much of this kind of work throughout, even at state level. I get around to the other counties in the state. I've taught many of those assessors in the past. I know what they're doing. We're going far beyond what we need to do in terms of just doing a minimum to get by. I don't believe in doing a minimum. I believe in excelling. I have all of my employees are certified. I want them to be able to give you the right answer to the door when you come in, because I don't want to have it corrected later on. And number two, I expect them to know what they're doing. And I think they do. Are we perfect? No. But I will also tell you, in comparison to Edwardsville, we had about a third of the amount of complaints 2 years ago and about a half last year. We only had about 15 that went actually to hearings. That's pretty darn good, considering that back in the 2000s and so forth, there were as many as 300 and 400 and 500 going every year. So I think we made progress because we've got the number of employees to do it, and we have good employees to do it because I insist on it. Thank you very much.
Next over here.
I won't take long. I just wrote down a couple things. And you can answer me later if you'd like. But you said, we are not the highest in the county. I'd like to know who is higher per parcel. What I was told by the county, and again, I'm just trying to get the best bang for the taxpayer dollar. That's what I've always promised. And it has nothing, no personal to any employees, anything. I'm here to represent the taxpayers, all right? That's who I'm working for, all right? And so it's nothing ever personal. The county said, they told me that what they could do, it would take 3 employees, and I'm not exactly sure exactly how to go about doing that. Maybe it's at the ballot box, but the point is, they could do it with 3 employees. We're doing it with 8, all right? And that's pensions, that's health insurance, that's everything. I'm just wanting, these are your taxes. This is your assessment. How he was saying some great stories. The multiplier, it's the little white sheet you get when you see your taxes go up every year, it seems like. It's the multiplier, all right? And that's how the county, each town gauges how they're doing. The assessors offices are doing. Ours is not the best. Ours isn't the worst, all right? Want to address something that Mr. Hopkins said? He said we're now in compliance with the state law. You absolutely did. But anyway, we are not in compliance with the state law. But again, we have lowered your tax rate to 0 in some things. And you're right. It does take 3 votes. All right. And I'd like to know, and you can answer later. Last meeting. All right. It was sprung on us that we're going to get another new trustee. This is an elected position by the citizens. It's supposed to be your government, okay? I was told 48 hours in advance. They knew for 3 months. That's what the people said, okay? When they found out 3 months. Point is this.
Trustee Cox.
I'm done. Point is this. If I had one more vote, a second for Mr. Alexander, who was a good man, if I would have had one more second, a second by you, and a vote, all right, that would have stopped that. You have to get 3 votes. All right, I couldn't get 1 vote, and that would have put a good person in there, and somebody young, and somebody that has served his country, and is doing a lot in our community. So anyway.
All right, now wait.
I'm not saying
Point
that.
of order. Okay. Listen, this is supposed to be the public comments, and it's kind of turned into a little bit of the trustees going at each other here. All right? We're not gonna do that.
Yep.
Until the very end. Okay? Because they're electors too. I can't stop it. Let's get some of the public comments up here. All right, I think you were next. Then I'm gonna give each of the trustees and Supervisor Ellen, if he wants it, another 3 minutes to rebut. And Trustee Cox,
I'm
and
done.
you're done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, come on up. State your name and your address, please.
Mary Drum, Collinsville, Illinois.
Okay.
Mr. is it Hopkins? I pronounce that? Dan, trustee Dan. Okay, this kind of plays in a little bit into what Derek just asked. I want to know how you made your decision between Mr. Sonnenberg and Mr. Alexander. What determined your vote? What was the specific qualifications that you saw in Mr. Sonnenberg that you did not see in Mr. Alexander? And welcome, Mr. Sonnenberg.
Thank you. Write that down. Next member of the public?
Yeah, Rob Dorman, I just,
We've got this gentleman's.
yeah,
coming.
wait your turn, Dorman.
Just state your name and address, please.
Phyllis Strauskis, Collinsville.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to see everybody here. I mean, this is supposed to be non-political. Well, they don't appear to be. But it is good to see everybody here. And if I was an employee of the township, God, I would be up here. I'd bring my sister, my brother, my mother, my father. You don't get jobs that you don't pay health care anymore. You just don't do it. I've asked at the township meetings prior to this to change the bylaws. The bylaws suck. When there is an absentee or a vacancy for a trustee, they were put in by vote of the citizens of the township. I would like to have seen that done. We can do it within a 90-day period. I think the only time you should appoint somebody is that when there is less than 12 months to fulfill the vacancy. Pay reduction. Trustees make about $5.50 a month, let's say. I'd like to see that cut in half. Your supervisor, your assessor, I would like to see that cut in half. I would also like to see, we've been a member of 5, I believe, for years and years and years. The township has grown. I would like to see this brought up to the number 7. In other words, get 2 more people to serve on this board. We did one thing at the meeting last year. I couldn't believe that we were paying a moderator $250 to stay an hour. I thought that was wrong, and I thought it was a joke, actually. I'm not going to get into this assessor stuff, but the taxation part of it, anytime you have a physical entity that is like, let's say, the government assistance. Why did we have 10 times more than what we needed? Why, over all the years with these people that have been here 30, 40 years, the same trustees, why wasn't this taken care of? You represent the citizens of the township. And if hard times come, sure. But then you increase your tax levy that you're using this money. To the people that are elected that don't like what is said or they think they're being picked on, this is politics. If you don't like it, get out. You can't be thin-skinned and represent the people. I thank you very much for your time, but I hope, I don't want to wait until the last year to vote on some of these things. Thank you.
Yeah, I just had a question for you, the moderator.
Could you state your name and address?
Rob Dorman, and you said only registered voters can speak.
Yeah.
How many people in here are not registered voters that voted on not reading the minutes and also voted for a moderator because you shouldn't have been doing that?
Mr. Dorman, I don't know, but I was watching this and I noticed a lot of people didn't vote. So I think people are well aware when they can and cannot vote. Do you have you wanna make any other comments?
Just a suggestion in the future, I've been to these before in other townships. You take registered voters, put them on one side, non-registered voters, put them on the other, so you have your two separate.
Anybody at this table? Okay. You went first, this lady up here in the front, you raise your hand first, and then we'll go to you in the back. Your name and address?
Linda Bowman Steele, 722 High Point. Okay. Hi, I'm glad everybody's here too, and I'm here with my lovely 92-year-old mother, and my sister took my mom's tax information and all the little forms, and one of the forms was the senior freeze. And the bookkeeper looked at this and said, wow, this senior freeze is really time consuming to fill out. My sister said, oh, we just take it to Pam up at the township and she takes care of it for us. And she said, well, that's really good because that takes a lot of time. Well, Pam, we know, does that for a lot of people we know, not just my mom. And so a tip of the hat, a thank you. Mike, I agree. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the people in the township that work for us. And I'm thankful.
When you first started, you said no personal attacks, and the very first person that got up and spoke was making personal attacks against other trustees, which seemed kind of funny.
A few people were, and I was letting it go.
And then,
All right?
one of the trustees also made a statement about social media. I understand that, but I noticed nothing was said about flyers being on cars at the different meetings attacking the other trustees. So 6 of one, half of a dozen of the other. If you're going to express your feelings, you need to defend everybody on the board, not just individuals. And a couple people already brought it up, but from coming to the meetings, I also, one of my notes was, if there was something that they could do to change the policy on how they do fill a vacancy. I mean, there's no applications, and I come to the meetings, and I have nothing against anybody, you know, personally that ran at the last meeting, and I said this, out of the 3 people, I knew 2 people that ran on for the vacancy to fill that Donnie Sonnenberg fill. And out of everybody that spoke, and I did not know him, I never met him, maybe I met him before, he stood up there and everything out of his mouth was what he did for the community. He volunteers, he worked with YMCA, he did the Rotaries Club, he goes to the schools, and everything was about the community, and nobody else spoke about donating or volunteering or being part of the community. So that just kind of threw me as sitting there that the other trustees didn't see that either. And so maybe we have to do something to make it about the people and not our friendship. And somebody else brought up about the pay. I'm not here to cut anybody's pay because when you take a job, you negotiate your pay, that's your pay. But when you voted at the meeting that we're gonna cut the meetings from 2 meetings a month to 1 meeting a month, that's different. And they voted that. I mean, I was at the meeting where they said, let's just do once a month meeting. Well, when you took office knowing there was 2 meetings a month, and that's what you're getting paid for. So why are we, I realize we can't change the pay now because it's part of their contract and they voted in to the position that they have. But for the future though, why wouldn't their pay be adjusted if we adjusted the amount of meetings that we're required to have? So that's my comment. Thank you.
We're really having a hard time hearing you, and she's trying to take notes.
I'll talk loud.
Okay.
My name is Don Cox, there's my son,
Okay.
and, there was some comments made. Mike Foley's been a friend of mine forever. I have nothing against Mike. But a comment about social media. Anybody knows me, I hate social media. I don't have Facebook, I don't have text message, I don't have any of that stuff. If I could get rid of it, I would. And I suggest that we have a petition tonight to stop social media. All we have to do is get a permission, go to Congress, and get 38 state legislators to vote down the First Amendment to the Constitution. Then you can get rid of social media. But until that happens, social media is here. And the comments on his Facebook page is here. I mean, we cannot suspend the First Amendment of the Constitution unless 38 states legislators agree to do it. Now, if that happens, I'd be the happiest person in the world. But that's not gonna happen. Until it does, I'm totally still a friend of mine, social media is here to stay. And we're not gonna get rid of it, so we might as well quit griping about it. Okay? My motion is, which is not gonna go anywhere, is that I think we have too many layers of government. We have the city that does the job, and we have a township that does the job. I make a motion, we dissolve one of them. Dissolve the township, dissolve the city. One entity can do roads, everything else, do assessments, everything. But we have 2 layers of government. I get taxed from the township, I get taxed from the city. So I make a motion, I know that's not gonna mean anything, making a motion to dissolve the township, but that's my viewpoint. Thank you.
I'm gonna take that off my Facebook page.
Mr. Coxon, I just want to make a comment that I know you were making a point by saying you were making a motion, but I just want to go on the record that that motion is not proper in this venue, so we're not going to be acting on it. Yes. How about this table? Jackson, Vicki Jackson?
Hi, my name's Vicki Jackson. I'm not an elected official. I am the office manager for Terry Bones Allen. And I would like to take this time to thank him for the 4 years that he's put in every single day.
I'd never be here this long wasn't it for these gals. My gals and Pete's gals in Road and Bridge, we got wonderful crews here. It's just amazing. And, you know, a lot of you don't know it, but Pete Belletti is known up in the whole state of Illinois as one of the greatest there is. So give him a big hand.
He cut into your time, so I'm keeping track.
Okay, my mom didn't do that. There's been comments made about social media on and on and on and on. Well, these folks that have all this time going around taking pictures and posting all this stuff, they're willing to stop at the office and help unload all the donations that Terry picks up 3 or 4 times a week on his own time. And he doesn't have to be at the office every single day. He's an elected official. It's not required for him to be at that office 40 hours a week. But he is. He goes to Everettsville, Mike Carbon, whoever calls, whether it's material, whether it's clothes or food,
All right, we're down to the second to the last table here. Anybody have a comment they would like to make? Okay. Just don't forget to state your name and your address, please.
Sure. Scott Rayo, 205 Westview. I've got half of my property in the township and half my property in the city. I can relate to the issue of layers of government. I'm not a big fan of them either. However, I happen to feel that Collinsville Township is one of the better run townships. I am like family to Terry, a good friend of Derek's. I commend the hard work that you guys do. It's not an easy job, and I would never do what you do for the $500 or whatever you get a month. Same thing goes for people in the city. It is a rough deal. You have to put up with the First Amendment, like it or not. You have to embrace and respect everyone's opinion from wherever they're coming from, because everyone has a good point to make. I would like to see more civility, but hey, that's your right. So I choose to post more supportive things on social media, and I would like to see others do that. But hey, you have a right to gripe too. Not everything is perfect. There are some things I think have been run very, very well for years and years and years. There's some things I'd like to see changed. But go talk to them. They have their opportunities open. You know, bring your ideas and give it a shot. And maybe we try to work together a little bit more rather than at each other. Because I happen to know every single person that's on the township, employees and township trustees alike, do things a lot of us don't see. I see Derek everywhere doing stuff for the committee. I see Terry doing stuff for the committee. He helped us with animal rescue. Derek's helped us with animal rescue. These are good people. Try to give them a little bit more respect, but I will ask our township trustees, just please don't forget about us, the citizens. Please respect us. And let's tone down the rhetoric a little bit, seriously. We all love this township. We all love this area. It's our community. And we all can work through it. So that's really all I have to say.
Anybody else at this table here? Okay, we're down to the very last table. Does have anybody who'd like to make a comment at the very last table? All right. Now, I know I may have gone outside a little bit of my area of authority, but I did say I would give the trustees a few minutes, the ones that have not had a chance to have a second bite of the apple, to say something. So do any of them want just really quick, 2-3 minutes, say anything at this time?
Real quick, just
Been up twice, Mr. Coletti. Mr. Cox has been up twice. I would do the same to him. Okay, so Mr. Hopkins, I think you were supposed to say something.
On behalf of the whole board, I'd like to thank all of you for coming tonight. I appreciate you taking time out of your evening to come here. I know how exciting it was for you, but you know what? I wish we had this crowd at every meeting. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, are there any other comments from the electors?
I got one. I just asked the county clerk about the
Name, please, just for the record. Your name?
My name is Karen Stack.
Okay.
And I asked her about a special election for trustees in the middle of the term. She figured it would be about $75,000.
That's interesting.
It would be best to leave it up to your board.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna make my public comment now, and I just, 1 minute, I just wanna say I'm kind of excited about finally winning an election. So- Everybody's been really great great tonight. There's been a lot of passion in this room, and I think that there's been a lot of this sentiment has gone out, that we all need to work together for what's the best for this township and for the community at large. And I think it can be done very easily. I don't think anybody hates each other or anything like that. We just approach things all differently, and we bring different types of passions to it. And so I just want to remind everybody to be tolerant of everybody else's viewpoints and take into consideration where they're coming from and how they deliver it, because some of us, and I've been guilty of this myself, can be a little louder than others. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to moderate this. It's really been an honor. I don't know if I'll be back next year, but I did want to make one point. A lot of times I hear that elected officials and people, they go to one meeting a month, or they, you know, I was in this position, I was here for an hour. Why should you get paid that much? Well, the other day when somebody called me and told me they were gonna nominate me to be the moderator, I spent 5 hours reading statutes, going over past meetings, watching tape meetings from other townships to make sure we would get this right. And I know that I am not the exception to any elected official, because I know they spend a lot of time and a lot of effort in private, working at their jobs and making sure that they're doing things right. And it's the things that a lot of people don't see. So when you talk about, oh, they go to a meeting and they get paid $500, there's so much more than that involved for all of them. And just try to keep that in mind in the future. Having said that, I will entertain a motion to close the comment section of this meeting. Do I hear a motion for that? I have a second?
Second.
All right.
I do.
All in favor of ending the comment section of this meeting? Aye. All opposed? No? The ayes win. We're gonna close the comment section now. And also, we have one more bit of business that we have to do. I mentioned that this meeting is held throughout the state of Illinois, in every township, on the second Tuesday in April of every year. And also, the statute also says that the meeting has to be held after 6 p.m. So I would like to entertain a motion to set the date for next year's meeting for April 14th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
A second? Phil was, yeah. All in favor of setting next year's annual township meeting on April 14th, 2020, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any noes? The ayes have it. The next annual town meeting will be held April 14th in 2020. Since there's no other business that we have before the meeting, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All in favor of adjourning?